Surprise, motherfucker! What's up? This is your friendly neighborhood Venger Satanis. How's it going? It's been a while since I made a video. So I thought, why not make a video? Just as simple as that. So I've talked about these whatever cards. X cards, not X cards, but rated X cards or triple X cards. I don't know, Venger cards, Chult cards. I mean, they're specifically for Chult. So, I don't know. They're kind of like Chult cards. But I specifically made them in response to the ridiculous X cards, which are part of the safety tools, which a lot of us are against for a variety of reasons. I think you probably know why. And so yeah, I mentioned these a couple weeks ago on inappropriate characters. Or not a couple weeks ago. It was like a week and a half ago. And then I talked about them just yesterday when I blogged about last Saturday's. Excuse me. Oh. It's Memorial. Wait, is it Memorial Day or Labor Day? I can never get them straight. I don't know. It's a long weekend. It's the end of the long weekend. It's Monday, and we're all tired. It's super hot out, so forgive me. So yeah, I talked about in my blog post where I wrap up and do a session report for the last game of the Chult campaign, Crystals of Chaos. I will put a link in the description below if you want to see. I talk about them a little bit and how they were used in the last game. We only used 2 of the 7. Next session, I want to use at least 3, but it's up to the players to decide. Anyway, let me go over it a third time because some people might not have seen either of those, or they just want a refresher or whatever. I've already got people asking like, "Oh, where can I buy these?" I just made these myself. You can make them just as easily. Maybe I'm planning on kickstarting book 4, like around December, January. I need all that time to finish up my current Kickstarter, which is the Chult webcomic, and then there's also like webcomics / Chult GPT products for the Purple Islands and Alpha Blue that are coming down the pike. All that will hopefully be wrapped up by Thanksgiving at the latest, maybe into early December. I need to get all that off my plate before I do yet another Kickstarter, which will be for book 4 of the Chult trilogy. So super excited about that. But anyway, I have all these cards. On this side, it's what the card is about or what it's for. All the things that make up Chult. You got the 4 basic ones that I kind of go over and over, like repeated ad infinitum or whatever. However you say that. I see it a lot, but I never. That's the first time I've ever tried to say it aloud. Anyway, so you get the main 4, but then there's the 3 that are kind of like below the surface that I also use to either explain what Chult is or what it's like, or I just use it in my mental calculation when designing, adventures or campaign material or whatever media is associated with Chult. So without further ado, you got Post-Apocalypse in no particular order. Eldritch. I just did some some color and some tentacles and a couple suns. Science fantasy, sleaze, humor, pop culture, gonzo. And then the opposite side, you have the Corthalis Metasigil, which is the gateway to Chult, as it happens. The Eldritch Infernal symbol that's kind of, you is the, what am I thinking of? The totality of Chult and everything Chult related. Plus, this is kind of your way in, your signpost up ahead, your key, your gateway. And what I did is I just cut out some card shaped, I just used a calculator and I traced around the like a rectangular shape on like 60-pound sketch pad paper, and then I just used a marker to design it, and then I used either colored pencil or marker to color it, and that's it. And the object of what you do is I just put them in the center of the table, and I told all the players ahead of time that at any point in the adventure, if you want me to make an encounter or situation or a scene or something more eldritch, more sleazy, or more humorous, or something like that, then you just pick up one of these cards and hold it up, and then I will do my best to enrich my descriptions or that experience to increase that particular vibe. And I also welcome suggestions from people. Like if the person tapping it like has a particular thing in mind, please share it with me, because that means I don't have to. I might reject it or tweak it, but then I don't have to come up with something whole cloth, which I don't mind doing, but it's easier if you provide a suggestion or provide some sort of context. Whatever's in your mind, assuming there is something in your mind. Maybe there isn't anything. Maybe you're just like, I just want this to be sleazier just because. I have no preconceived notions in my head of how you could do that. I just want it dirtier or sexier or more erotic or something. So, Game Master, do that. And if someone else at the table, like the person next to the player, is like, oh, well, what if that magical sword was, I don't know, just off the top of my head, like shaped like a penis or something like that. And then when you hit someone and you critted, maybe it squirted some like weird purple plasma juice all over them, and I don't know, just talking. But something like that. And then, yeah, I mean, everybody has their own style. So what I like to do is, without interrupting the game too much, I don't mind, and sometimes I enjoy a little bit of workshopping back and forth, like between the players and myself, on like how something is going to be, or just a way to like juice it up to make something cooler or more memorable, or I don't know, more awesome or whatever. So I like to encourage that with these too. So in the previous session, as you'll read if you read the session report blog post in the link below, we used 2 of the 7. So the 7 cards were just kind of like sitting at the table, and then one of my players who was really into like game design and like the inner workings of the RPG industry and scene and all that stuff. He likes creating his own stuff, and he likes talking about games outside of the game. He tapped first the post-apocalyptic one, and then the Eldritch one, and it worked. It worked great. It happened exactly as I imagined it would when I created these, in response to the whole X card safety tool stuff that you see on social media, that I see at least, because I'm friends and follow people that rip on that sort of thing. So yeah, it was. So yeah, they show up just like that, or probably face up, just so you don't have to like lift them up. So you just maybe have one in mind, or maybe I don't know, you just pick one at random because just for the hell of it. It's just I don't know, like anything else. It's just a tool, a potential helpful device or way of I don't know, making the game more memorable or fun or creating a better story or a story that's either more in line with a particular kind of fantasy, like Chalt. I mean, Chalt isn't like your generic fantasy. Chalt is, very specifically its own thing. And if you like that and you want more of it, then this is a way of getting more of that. And since so many people have asked me, like, oh, are these going to be for sale? Maybe I'll have someone create like a professionally like graphic designed set of cards, and maybe I'll offer that as like a stretch goal for book 4 of the Chult trilogy. That, like I said, I'm hopefully going to kickstart Tentacles Crossed in December, January, something like that. But yeah, it worked great, and I'm going to keep using it. And whatever experiments I run, I will let you guys know because that's one of the things I do. I write and run and play games, and then I tell you guys about it in hopes that I can share my experiences and maybe improve your games as well as my own. But yeah, if you want to do something similar, I'd say, yeah, create your own cards. If you're using Chult, I would suggest those 7 because that's kind of what Chult is. If you run Chult a different way, or maybe you're mixing and matching it with something like Carcosa, or something like, I don't know, like that Neon Toxic, whatever, Mutant Classic something. I don't know. If you do something more like that, then maybe you want. I don't know. I feel like those 7 kind of cover that whole genre, even if you mix Chult with other things. But let's say you wanted to mix Chult with Ravenloft or something you wouldn't normally expect. You could have another card that's like Gothic Horror, or I don't know, if you wanted to somehow, for some godforsaken reason, you wanted to mash Chult with superheroes, you'd have a superhero based card. I don't know. I don't really do superheroes. Or if you did like a Western, I don't know, like badassery. I don't know, like whatever um, spaghetti, spaghetti Western. I don't know, whatever that trope is that you like in your games and you want more of, you would create a card for that. So anyway, if you want to do that, I would love to see it. If you have a blog or a video channel or something like that, and I'd love to hear about your experiences, because just because it's awesome for me in my game doesn't mean it is for you. But I'd wager that it is going to be awesome for you, and I think you should try it, because not only did it seem cool at the time when I was coming up with the idea, I know we only had one session, but it was very cool in practice. So I encourage you to do that. And I would love to hear about it, because whenever anybody uses stuff that I have created, I love hearing about it. It's like hearing about your child, I don't know, like growing up and going abroad and, winning some sort of like gold medal and something, or a chess championship or whatever. You're like, oh my God, so proud. And I love sharing my passion with others, especially of like mind, especially when we have similar things in common. I think that's great. And I think that as a creator, that just fuels my fire and gets me wanting to create more. And we fuel each other with communicating back and forth with our hobby. I mean that's just kind of how things go, right? And so yeah, I'd love the feedback, especially if you use it yourself. I think that's it. Advanced Crimson Dragon Slayer is out. I'll put that in the description below too. It's the most updated version of Crimson Dragon Slayer D20, basically. It's got some new races, and it's got a bunch of new stuff. Some stuff you've seen before. Just this is a new form, but some things like the alignment is like completely different, and that's grown out of the campaign that I've been running for 16 sessions in 8 months because we play every other week. Okay, that's it. It's probably give me another 2-3 days, whatever, before the next one. So hopefully you enjoyed this video, and please comment below. Also share, like, and if you haven't already, subscribe.